On the slopes of Mount Doom, the fate of Middle-earth will be decided. Hey, how's it going? And welcome back to another Rise of Mordor custom map scenario battle. In today's engagement, forces of Gondor and Dale have marched against the evil in the east, and Mordor and the forces of the Eastlings are going to be trying to repel them. You can see some of the Mordor units right here, as well as I think we're going to be getting some of the newer Mordor units as well, scattered throughout here, which have come in the most recent patch. And then all the way over on this far right flank, we do have the Easterlings with some of their cool looking units, and obviously we've got more of the iconic ones on the front line, which we obviously know and love from the movie. And then we've got kind of just other units sat back here. I'm not sure if these guys are new to the roster or not, but they look really cool nonetheless, kind of adding up. And I love the detail on the weapons as well. It's a really, really nicely designed weapon. And then obviously finally over on the far distance. Oh my god, the distance between these forces is kind of crazy. You might have to cut a few bits out here and there. We do have the men of Dale who have answered the call of the brave men of Gondor. So yeah, it should be a very exciting battle. Obviously the map is very cool as well. We've kind of got this Mordor wasteland as the Gondorians have broken through the Black Gate and have pushed on towards Mount Doom to destroy the One Ring once and for all. So a very, very cool map, and I'm excited to see how this battle does develop. So let's jump ahead towards the start of this engagement. Also, if you guys want to see more battles like this, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below. It's the best way to go ahead and let me know that you want to see more of this type of content. And obviously go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification. It's really important you do that, otherwise you just won't know about my videos, which kind of sucks, but hey, that is just how it is nowadays. So yeah, let's jump ahead until the first engagement starts. The Gondorians are marching closer and closer, and I think you can now see the Mordor army coming into view in the distance. You can also see them up on the slopes as well, with their artillery peeking over their ranks. It's going to be a hard battle for the Gondorians, and the first artillery pieces, seemingly from the men of Dale, are now shooting. Oh yeah, they've taken advantage as well, and they've loaded up some artillery up on this hill, which will be a good, good opportunity to try and maybe counter-snipe the onagers of the Easterlings or other units. And we got the Mordor artillery coming off with some flaming shots right now. Luckily, all of them missing. Artillery at range, at least at the low ranks, becomes very inaccurate, so it's kind of good to let the enemy come closer if you can, to then use it. But it's also just a really good tool to use in your arsenal to try and just force the enemy to come forward. Because if you suddenly see 4, 5, 6, 7 boulders being shot at you, you're kind of under the impression that you have to move forward and get closer and closer to the to the enemy forces. So it's a nice tool to make your opponents kind of worry a little bit and force them forward. I mean, in this battle, the Gondorians are kind of the attacking force, so they're the ones who have to kind of make their way forward anyway. But, you know, in a normal battle, it's still pretty good. On the front lines, both teams are looking like they are using similar tactics as the artillery continues to shoot out in the distance. The Gondorians have their sword militia on the front line. Are any of these shots going to find their mark? Again, all misses, I think. Yeah, all misses. The Gondorian infantry becoming very lucky. But it looks like, yeah, as I was saying, both sides are using a similar tactic. We have the orc rabble of Mordor going up against the Gondorian sword militia. Some arrows flying in. The Gondorian sword militia should have this initial engagement, honestly. Like, even though they're crappy units, the orc rabble are absolute trash. They are never supposed to be able to do anything, so... also the game sound is just a tad loud, so let's just stick down the master volume just a little bit so you guys can hear me talk a bit better. So yeah, I imagine if you look at casualties, the Gondor sword militia are taking casualties, but yeah, the orc rabble are getting kind of wiped away, and that's really their job. They're so cheap that they're just never supposed to be able to do anything, and now Gondor are committing 2 extra units to this fight, so not only are the orc rabble kind of outnumbered, you know, they're also being outclassed as well, and some huge hits on the Gondorian front line here. Yeah, some direct hits burning a lot of these infantrymen. I also forgot to mention as well, this battle has over 20,000 units in it, so it's a pretty crazy one. Again, I want to give a massive shout out to all the players who played in this battle. I really appreciate it when you guys send me in replays, and if you guys want to be a part of these battles, be sure to join the Discord down below. It's a great way to get involved, and yeah, be a part. So the Gondorian artillery, I think, is trying to counter-snipe the orc artillery. And then you go some more Orcs right here. These guys are a lot heavily armored. I think the only thing that's missing from these guys, which they're adding in, is a neck piece. There's supposed to be some neck armor that just hasn't made it into this patch quite yet, but it's going to be for public release, which should be any day now. I also really dig the way that these commanders have like 2 weapons as well. That looks really cool. A huge fan of that. Over on the Dalian front of the Eastlings, neither side is really committing. You can kind of just see them in the fog, but yeah, both sides just kind of sitting put, and it's really up to the Gondorians to do the heavy lifting, as it were, as the artillery comes off once again. This time trying to find their mark on these loosely formed archers. And I mean, again, like, you know, this is not a bad target. You're probably more likely to hit these Gondorians with these flaming shots just because they cover a lot more distance. But because of that, every shot won't be as deadly as if you hit these tightly compacted infantrymen. What are they forming? They're forming shield wall now. Yeah, the Gondorians, I think, are going into shield wall and advancing. They're going to be throwing their sword militia forward, but this should be quite easily repelled by the Orcs. We have just some basic Orc warriors right here. Again, nothing too crazy. These are kind of like, you know, the standard kind of low to mid-tier infantry. And do keep in mind as well, the Orc Mordor roster is still very much a work in progress. A lot of these assets you're seeing now will be kind of redeveloped and improved and changed as the mod gets more and more. You know, whenever more assets are being made, they'll go back and revisit older units and kind of add new stuff to them. So, yeah, Mordor's still very much a work in progress. You got the Uruk bowmen back here as well, who look just so heavily armored for like bowmen. I love their bows as well. The animation where the handle comes flying back as well is just so cool. Yeah, you can see it getting a little bit stretched and then it's just like unloaded. Really, really cool. And I love this unit back here as well. I love the weapons for these Orcs. So cool. My favourite thing has to be the pikeman bow back here. I love the different types of pikeman weapon. It looks just so awesome. The 3 or 4 different variations. It's really cool. More artillery coming off. Oh my god, so unlucky. So we have actually a Gondorian sword charge in their wedge formations. And after the militia was repelled, the Gondorians are going to go flying in. And that impact is probably going to dive deep into the Uruk line. Yeah, they're going to be focusing a large portion. It will allow them to be enveloped as more artillery shots come flying in. It will allow them to be enveloped. We have another contingent of Gondor infantry ready to push in. I think the militia are being broken, and we actually have a great overview of Uruk archers right here. Oh yeah, they're just in such a good position. They can see the entirety of the battlefield, and they're just preparing their arrows bit by bit. I mean, yeah, look at that. They are just ready to let loose their arrows and unload on the Gondorians below. I mean, yeah, I'm always one for stuff like this where you actually get to see them like draw their bows and just off in the distance you see the heavy fighting. So these arrows will be doing a lot of damage. You can see we're just coming right into the side of the Gondorians, and now the Uruks are pushing forward. They're on their ranks upon ranks. Look at that kind of formed line. That looks amazing. That is one hell of a battle line as the Uruks get closer and closer towards the front line. Artillery going back and forth. Man, I would not want to take on this Uruk front line. I'm not going to lie. That looks scary as hell. And I mean, the Gondorians are kind of struggling to break through this initial line. Do we have any big pushes on this right-hand side? Yeah, we do have some Gondorians. You've got some cavalry moving all the way around the field. And these are the Knights of the Silver Swan. So heavy cavalry moving around these flanks. It's a long way to go, but hopefully it'll be worth it. And then we just have some Pilanagif, butchered that name, infantry right there, with some Aphelion Rangers supported by some Axemen as well. So, I mean, the Gondorians are kind of struggling here. Over on the far left-hand side, Dale are starting to make their move forward with a big push on this left-hand side. Dale do have a very strong setup when it comes to missiles, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw kind of Dale take more of a skirmisher approach, whereas the Gondorians are obviously very much just looking to get themselves stuck into the battle. And there we go, the first couple volleys from the Vineland Yard Patrol again, looking very cool. I love all their different colour undercoats. So they're going to be probably harassing and trying to just weaken up the front line of the Eastlings, which again makes complete sense that these guys would be receiving heavy shooting, just because that's kind of the way Dale is set up. They have some pretty good infantry. Oh, that's a good hit. That hit was pretty decent right there. But again, the main fighting is going to really consist over here as the Gondorians just continue to try and cut their way through the Mordor front line. And with the amount of arrows going overhead and into this battle, they are definitely struggling to achieve that. The Orcs have just got so many numbers, and they're throwing them in, and now they've actually got some decent quality infantry as well. The Uruks back there, just waiting. If any gaps appear, the Uruks will charge in. Obviously, you have the Spearmen as well, guarding their flanks, acting as a stone wall. There is no retreat for these Orcs, because if they retreat, they'll get stabbed by their own men. The Gondorian arrows flying in. Such an epic battle line right now. And it's so awesome when they send me in battle replays. The guys who play this battle, that is, or these battles. It's so awesome when they send me in these custom maps, because they just add so much more flavor to the battle, you know. They add in, like, you know, objectives, cool, you know, like, kind of like the map designers created stuff, you know, for the players to be, you know, fighting over. Also, this one Gondorian soldier, he's just killed one Orc. How many is he going to take down? I'm going to say he's going to kill like 2 more, maybe. I mean, if he kills 2 more, he's probably going to finish them all off. What a brave man. I mean, he's completely surrounded and they are striking on him, but he just needs to kind of get clean blows. Hey, guys, another one down. I think this Gondorian infantryman has this, you know. I really think he's going to come out on top. Unfortunately, not killing that Orc, but good on him. We'll obviously come back. Oh, no, he went down just as we looked away. The poor, poor man. And now more infantry is being thrown into this as the artillery fire just goes in, back and forth. Still no infantry engagement on this far flank, just still lots of missiles and more infantry being committed over here. Both sides using fire arrows, which is surprising. Also, these bowmen as well. I love the shields for them. These bowmen, I think, are more of like a hybrid infantry unit than anything else. They're like good bowmen, but they can also do decently in combat. I assume that's what kind of they're all about. And yeah, both sides are still very much looking to skirmish. Did the cavalry ever make it around? It must have, right? Where is it? Oh, it's back here. Yeah, it's charging into the deep ranks of the Uruk front, but these are Knights of the Silver Swan. These are not, you know, just, you know, pointless cavalry. These are heavily armored knights, and they're just going to rip through the lines of the Uruks. Many of the Uruks getting back up, but still, that cavalry charge is going to rip them apart. And now it's looking like they're going to be going after the missiles positioned over there. You have the Uruk general rushing over, along with the Eastling general as well. It's going to be really telling in this battle who's going to come out on top. But I mean, it seems like as they pulled through, they took so many casualties on this horse unit. Yeah, you can see so many of them going down right there as they broke through the Uruk line. As they charge head on. I mean, this is a very thin line, so I imagine, yeah, this doesn't stand a chance, but they're also receiving the entirety of the archer fire as well. I mean, obviously, this cavalry just needs to rush down here and try and affect the front lines, I think, and that's exactly what they're doing as Gondor gives their last push, charging into the heavy Uruk bowmen. Doing pretty decently to wound them as well. And then this cavalry, I think, again, is just trying to break through the Uruk general. He's gone down. He's lost 50 men already, so I mean, that's a pretty good charge. But we also have the Bane of the Serpent, so the cavalry from the Eastlings as well now being committed. Wow, they actually are really cool. I'm just going to pause and take a look at this unit because I haven't seen it before. They look pretty cool. I love like the mix between like this armor and more of the traditional armor. And their weapons look really cool as well. And they're obviously like a hybrid unit as well between a bow and a Lancer cavalry unit. Yeah, this is exactly what we need. We need to steal the Knights of the Silver Swan smashing into the back of these Uruks. Because that'll just do so much damage. But I think this will be their last. They are now committed. And now the Gondorian front line is breaking. It is being cut down. And now it is fleeing from the battle. This is, you know, really bad for the Gondorians. It really is. And it seems like the ranks of Moria Orc just cannot be broken. No matter what they do, they are just struggling and they are being repelled. Mordor strong. Yeah, I mean, even on these flanks as well, the Orc pillagers, just the sheer numbers of the Orcs are proving their worth. And even on this far right-hand side, they're really struggling, even with the commitment of the heavy axemen as well. Seems like the elite spearmen in their shield walls are just being able to kind of hit off this attack pretty easily. I guess it's going to be up to Dale now to to really come in big, and they are slowly committing more infantry to this fight. You can see them pushing up bit by bit, and I think now their sword infantry is going to look to go forward. Yeah, they formed up their assaulting position, and now the runic infantry of the Eastlings is going to be counter-charging as well. You can see that the Eastlings are wielding sword and mace more than anything else, whereas the Men of Dale are kind of just using that long sword and shield. They're going to be committing, but, you know, huge gaps have been created, so this is a perfect opportunity for the Men of Dale to exploit these gaps. However, the Eastlings are quickly committing, looking to go ahead and sew the gaps shot tight. You've got some cavalry rushing over here as well. We'll jump on board with them. This Dalian cavalry, I imagine, is going to rush over and try its best to, you know, get in between any of these gaps, because cavalry charges can be really brutal if used effectively. But for now, it seems like they are going to be sitting tough. And yeah, just no side looking to really commit, at least in the center. They're looking to maybe crush the flank and then come around and envelop the Eastling forces, which honestly is not a bad idea. The Gondorians just seem like they are broken though, and that's going to allow Mordor to commit more men over to the Dalian, the Eastling front. Yeah, I mean, looking at this, it just does not look good for Gondor. However, they are making progress, and I guess the Orcs are running out of men. But yeah, I mean, even these flanks, you know, these Gondorians are exhausted, going up against fresh Orcs. It's just not going to go well, as more and more of them get committed to this fight. See a nice 1v1 going on. I think the Gondorians have kind of spent their major assault this day. Some actually big 1v1s going on out here. That's kind of cool. I wonder how the Orcs kind of got round here. Some cavalry moving up as well. Maybe this cavalry can come in big. This is, you know, an entire unit of Knights of the Silver Swan. But we're quickly getting, you know, Uruk pikemen rushing over. So if Uruk pikemen can form up, then they should be okay. And a lot of arrow fire going in as well. Are the pikes going to go down, or are they going to break? But no, it looks like they're actually going to be killing the infantry, going right into the back of these Uruk Throng. Not a bad move whatsoever, just running amok. If they can break some more of the front line, then maybe they stand a good chance. Going back into these missiles again, just trying to cause as much mayhem as possible. And here we go. The Mordor morale coming in big, and, you know, 2 units of Uruks routed there. Now they're just kind of smashing into cavalry and infantry alike. A big rout on this right flank. Gondor have not done yet. Quickly, the Eastlings are being committed, but, you know, the Swan Knights are charging in. They are getting cut down, though, in their tens. But, I mean, what a charge. That gave them some hope, I think. And the Citadel Guard Generals had to be committed for Gondor now, just to hold firm. But once again, that hill is proving such a valuable asset. I mean, taking a look at that, these guys have only killed 81. Really, I would assume they would have killed a lot more. Being up in that good position with the arrow fire just coming in like that. It seems like they just slaughter whatever they come up against. But I guess not. I mean, yeah, I guess Gondor it's not over yet. They've still got some Gondorian archers that can be committed, and a bunch of other infantry. This right flank, though, has... I mean, I say this right flank has been crushed. It hasn't really. I mean, it kind of has, though. Yeah, I guess it kind of has. There's still a lot more Mordor infantry over there. The Dalian fight is still very much back and forth, and it seems like they are also committing their front line now to this fight, and might even be sending some infantry over to the Gondorian front. I think this would be huge if they did send just 4 units of infantry over to this front and maybe some cavalry. They'd be able to break Mordor, I think, because Gondor are just so close to doing it. They just don't have enough men at this point. I think it's only a matter of time until they, you know, they get enveloped like they're doing right now, and they run out of infantry, and they just kind of mass out. Especially once the Citadel Guard unit breaks, which it's not doing a good job of. It's holding firm. Some Javelin men as well. Definitely want to use these Marines if they can, because these Javelins will be very, very useful. That's why all the Uruk archers are focusing them down. Javelins seem like they're killing a lot of their own friendly men there. But also, oh my god, I just killed so many. Oh wow, yeah, this Orc Throng unit is getting slaughtered. Yeah, we can see they've already got 50 kills. Wow. And they're going to be getting a lot more. Yeah, they're breaking that flanking unit. Almost 100 kills right off the bat. I think they are now out of ammo, though. No, they've still got half a volley left, but they're going to be getting charged by the Uruk Throng. They're killing so many on that go. Almost 100 kills just from their Javelin toss. And now they can get stuck in to the melee. Man, I just feel like if Gondor just had a couple more units, they would be able to do this. And Dale are sending some. Yes, Dale, do it. Go around and help your Gondorian allies. They need it. It's a pretty decisive fight over here. The Eastlings are breaking through, but I think the men of Dale have a lot more here, especially with their archers. If these archers keep on shooting, they'll be very good. And also, obviously, like this Barding archer unit is still really effective in melee combat as well, so they can still commit these bowmen after they've, you know, blown their load, as it were, and have, you know, pulled out their swords. God, that was like, the first one was meant to be an India, and like it was supposed to be a dirty joke, but pulling out their swords was not. That was supposed to be serious. Man, I love these updated Easterling weapons as well. I'm pretty sure these were in the latest patch. Look awesome. I think there's a bunch more Easterling weaponry as well, which is yet to be added in, but is basically done. I think maybe they're waiting on a few more armor pieces to be done for the Easterlings. But it's really cool. I mean, just look at these weapons, man. Super nice. High quality, like, really good job on these Easterling weapons. Oh, nice. We've also got some Dalian cavalry in here as well. You're cutting down these pockets of Easterling resistance. That's very nice. And I think the Eastlings might be broken over here. They've still obviously got, you know, a decent setup. They'll be able to delay the forces, but it's not too bad. We also have the main front line of of Dale pushed forward now. But unfortunately, it's mainly just shipmen. And I think that's going to be quite difficult for them to break the heavily armored infantry of the Easterlings. Like, these shipmen are like, they're okay. They're heavy infantry, but they're not really like top tier heavy infantry. So I think they might struggle in this battle against the front line, and you can already see they've kind of got some men on the flank ready to push round. The Dale infantry turned up yet? Do they turn back around and go? No, they turned back around. No, that could have been so useful over on this. I mean, I guess they're kind of already broken. Yeah, I guess they were just a little bit too late. They needed some more men quickly. I mean, it would have been a very good idea at the beginning of this battle, honestly, to maybe commit like hold this line, commit a decent amount of infantry to this left flank, and then send, like, I don't know, a couple divisions round this right flank to support Gondor whilst you try and out-skirmish the forces of Rune. That could have been a really valid strategy. Or maybe even definitely send your cavalry over to this flank just to try and break the forces of Mordor. You know, I think in these 2v2s, it's always a great idea to try and support your opponent as much as you can. Or your ally, sorry, as much as you can. Because if you can beat one, if you can like 2v1 someone, even if it's just with like 2 or 3 extra divisions, it comes up pretty big. And now, yeah, you can see the front line getting crushed by the runic infantry. Wow, this runic infantry has barely taken any cavalry whatsoever. Any cavalry, any casualties at all. Man, they've slaughtered their opponents. That is brutal. Look at that, man. Now they're just going to push forward and, I guess, finish off what remains of Dale. And they've even managed to win. No, they've lost on this flank. I was going to say, for a second I thought they were red, but no, they're blue. Yeah, Dale definitely won this flank, which I think was a great strategy. But if they could have just maybe held them in this kind of, this valley, and then committed men to help out fight Mordor. Because Mordor don't have a lot left. Like, looking at them, I think they were very close to being completely broken. But they just managed to hold on. You know, and keep their units. Like, these guys are pretty fresh, but they were all the way over here. You know, if you could have broken the center, these units would not have been great. I mean, you could have, like, looped around. But I think for the most part, the battle is looking quite ill for them. Even though the Dale cavalry is not giving up, they are still recharging into the back lines and trampling on a lot of these Easterling axemen. So the battle is still very much, you know, anyone's game. And I actually really like the way that these battles are being fought now in Rise of Mordor. Because all the heavy infantry has that wedge formation, it creates gaps and pockets. There's not just like normally one massive front line. there's a lot more of these gaps and pockets of infantry fighting, which, you know, kind of creates a lot more strategy. And I think it also means that having reserves is really important, because if the enemy try and get through the gaps, you want to be able to block them with infantry, with fresh infantry, or if they don't have any reserves themselves, you can then exploit them gaps and go around the flank. So I kind of really like this. This is it definitely looks cool. And we now have the reinforcements turning around, but there's just not really a lot here. We do have the general for the Eastlings forming up, I guess, preparing, probably going to receive a charge from this heavy Dale cavalry regiment. But I think the writing's already on the wall for this one. Okay, let's see what the Lancer cavalry of the Eastlings is made of. I mean, they deleted that tightly knitted small group of shipmen. I don't know if any of them will even get up. A few of them got back up, but they probably, they routed immediately. Now the cavalry is just going to be running amok, going around the flanks, finishing up what remains of Dale. So it seems like the assault on Mordor is going to fail, and that's going to allow Sauron and the forces of evil to rebuild their legions. Just spawn another couple, 10,000... 100,000 Uruk and assault Middle-earth. Quick question about orc spawning. Is there a limit to it, or is it just like a time restriction? Let me know in the comments. I'd be really interested. Is like Uruk spawning or orc spawning kind of, it's just like it takes time to make an orc, so because of that you can only make as much time as you have and space as you have, or is there like a limit of like how many you can make before, like, the evil powers dwindle or what? Let me know, because I'd be very interested. There's always something I just kind of like assume, yeah, they can spawn them, but I don't really know how they do it, and if there's like limitations to it. I assume time is probably just the biggest, like time and space, and maybe resources. Yeah, like what? How do they even get made? I feel like obviously they were like used to be elves, which were converted, but then like modern day orcs, obviously they're spawned, but how? It's not just like a respawn button. Maybe it is. Maybe all orcs have like 30 lives and they can just keep on respawning back, but they have to go all the way back to Mordor to do so, and then they just end up getting spawn camped in the last film. So yeah, now the rest of Mordor are going to be turning up now, and I think that's going to be most of the battle. We'll just triple speed through the last part of it. We have 5 minutes. Actually, we'll skip ahead towards the very last stand, because yeah, it doesn't look good. I mean, as soon as these archers get enveloped, it's going to be over for the defenders. It seems like the Gondorians are putting up one last stand. They have their backs against the wall like the 300 Spartans, but their time is up, and now they will rout from the field. So it was a Pyrrhic victory for the forces of Sauron, and a pretty nice one at that. They managed to hold the front line against Gondor, which is pretty surprising considering, just how hard-hitting Gondor are. And I mean, Mordor are going to be a scary faction, much like they should be. I am definitely a fan of not making evil factions weak and just giving them loads of numbers. I want to see, strong Uruks descending upon the world. I mean, they are bred for a single purpose after all, especially when they get access to trolls and other stuff. Oh, it's going to be brutal, man. I can't wait to see it. Looking at the kills though, the Gondorian Citadel Guard getting over 300 kills towards the end, and obviously the Knights of the Silver Swan, always a high killing unit. Over on Mordor, anyone getting like a crazy amount, like 200 plus, or just some Uruk Spears of 200, some Uruk Archers of over 200. Yeah, it's good to see, and this one getting over 300, so seems like the Uruk Spears are a pretty deadly unit on the front line. For Rune, again, just their heavy infantry is always pretty high quality, so you can always expect good things by them. And then finally for Dale as well, we have the Dalian Cavalry General with over 250 kills, which is pretty impressive, and another unit with over 200 kills right there. So if you guys enjoy this battle, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.